I ain't gonna lie, bro. If you're a fan of Concord or live service games in general, you're cooked. You are officially cooked. Breaking news. Well, not so breaking as of the time of me recording this video, because unfortunately, I was asleep. I was taking a nap because I was having a long day. But breaking news on Concord, man. Live service game coming from PlayStation and Firewalk Studios. It's looking like the game is dead. That's it. It's done. Or at least that's what it's looking like. There's a chance for it to come back, circle back in the back half. Potentially as a free to play service game or things of that nature. But for the most part, it's looking like as of now, they've decided to completely just offer refunds to the player base that have bought in the game, and it's looking like they're gonna go ahead and pack it up on this one. But here we got a blog post from over at the PlayStation blog, and I'm gonna go ahead and read through some of it so we can see what they gotta say. All right, so this is coming from Brian Ellis, the game director at Firewalk Studios. Concord fans, we've been listening closely to your feedback since the launch of Concord on PlayStation 5 and PC, and want to thank everyone who has joined the journey aboard the North Star. Your support and the passionate community that has grown around the game has meant the world to us. However, while many qualities of the experience resonated with players, we also recognize that other aspects of the game in our initial launch didn't land the way we'd intended. Therefore, at this time, we have decided to take the game offline beginning September 6th, 2024, and explore other options, including those that will better reach our players. While we determine the best path ahead, Concord sales will cease immediately, and we will begin to offer a full refund for all gamers who have purchased the game for PS5 or PC. If you've purchased the game for PlayStation 5 from the PlayStation Store or PlayStation Direct, a refund will be issued back to your original payment method. And then they go on to list the various other ways you could have bought the game and how you're going to get refunds. For example, the Steam Store. They say Steam Store will refund players who bought the game over the coming days, and they'll send confirmation of the refund once it's processed. Same for Epic Games, and then same for all of the other retailers, specifically the physical versions. For example, if you walked into a GameStop. For customers who have purchased a physical copy at a retail location outside of PlayStation directly, please refer to the refund process of the retailer you purchased it from to obtain your refund. And that's it. It's kaput. It's capiche. It's a wrap. It's over. It's 6 feet under and it's GG's. Nah, let me stop. On a serious note, man. Let's go over and take a look at the Steam charts. I mean, the numbers for this game are just abysmal. Plenty of news sites and various reporters have touched upon it already when the game was alive. But the fundamental reason why everyone knows that this game was on the brink of, getting canned is because of the fact that the sales numbers, or the projected sales numbers based off of the reported concurrent users on Steam, and how we can generally, track the trajectory of how well a game is selling based off of these numbers on the Steam charts, is a clear indicator of how poorly the game was selling. I mean, this game was struggling to sell. Peaks of what is this? All-time peak in the 600s, the mid to high 600s. I mean, just completely abysmal. And honestly, this makes me want to dive into just a little bit of a discussion about live service games in general, because I mean, PlayStation. That First of all, let's get this out of the way. On the behalf of PlayStation, Concord was a complete and utter failure. Um, in regards to the Firewalk devs, I really hope that this doesn't like shatter their confidence or make them feel like they can't make a good game, because I genuinely think that these devs are capable of providing so much more than what was on display here for Concord. The actual game seems decent. Like it's not the worst thing in the world. Like there are plenty of games that are out there that are worse, whether they launched in a worse state or whether the gameplay on offer is just genuinely worse. For example, if we want to stick to the live service games stratosphere, I could make an argument that games like a Anthem, games like a Suicide Squad, those kinds of games not only launched worse, but generally are debatably worse games overall than Concord. And you guys should be seeing some Concord gameplay on the screen right around now, so you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. But in general, the problem that these devs have is that the kind of game that this is, the fact that it's a squad-based hero shooter in the vein of Overwatch, coming out as late as it has, with as much of the live service games meta development that has gone on in the past 10 or so years. Wrong place, wrong time with the wrong crowd. Pretty much. That's pretty much all it is. Furthermore, I'm unsure about the actual game's monetization. I don't know how predatory it is, if at all. But given the fact that you had to pay money for it, if I'm not mistaken, it was a $40 purchase in order to buy the game before you could get access to it. And then you still have in-game purchases and stuff like that, which is another tangent that we all can go on about live service games. You have to pay for it, but then after you pay for it, there are tons of microtransactions. I digress, because those are some of the problems that the Firewalk devs have had with the game, and just like the general issue around all the circumstances with Concord. It's real rough. But then the other key thing, and this is more so directed to fans of live service games in general, because I do want to touch on this just a little bit. Live service games, I don't know if y'all have noticed, but the quality, and to be fair, there's an argument to be made that the quality of live service games has always been in the gutter, but the ongoing quality and community support for a ton of these live service games has been absolutely abysmal. I have zero idea what's going on, but if y'all really take a look at it, like you'll really see exactly what I mean by this. Whether it's a Concord, which happened to die just now, whether it's a Suicide Squad, whether it's a Rocket League, which had went free to play, and as of the past couple of years, specifically the last year, has had tons of issues. Whether it's Apex, they have issues and drama going on with like the season pass or the battle pass. We all know that Warzone's got updates coming up because Black Ops 6 is about to drop, and at this rate, to be honest, I suspect that some kind of drama or issues will pop up with that game, etc, etc, etc. I could go down the list. I could put up so many different games on the screen to make my point. The reason I bring that up is because in the past couple of years, Specifically, I want to say in the past 5 years or so, since 2019, and definitely since 2020, since the you know what, the you know what lockdowns had occurred. The reason why I say that live service games have been struggling even more so than before in the past 5 or so years is because these games are trying to monetize too money hungrily while simultaneously providing at best mid gameplay experiences while trying to absorb all of your time. What? That does that make any sense to y'all? Why would I want to be all day on a game? You know, completing challenges, trying to go for these middling rewards, you know, kind of just whatever skins, having to put down money, having to buy microtransactions, potentially engage in pay to win mechanics, and have to time sync tons of games, so much so that it's distracting from my ability to play other games, all for them to screw me over because I don't think we're making enough bread. We need a little more money, so let's go ahead and let's up some of the prices, let's change some of the microtransactions, etc. In general, I'm unsure, man. I just feel like live service games in the past 5 or so years have been just quite abysmal. And then to wrap this up, the future of Concord, given the fact that more likely than not, if this game makes any kind of a resurgence in any capacity, assuming the Firewalk devs or PlayStation or whoever decides that they want to try to fund this back, more likely than not, it'll be a free to play game. It'll have tons of microtransactions within it, but then most importantly, and to be honest, this is my completely honest thoughts, I think that the game is going to get downgraded in a way to try to fit more platforms. Now let me take back the downgraded part. But I think that they're going to try to make it multi-plat in the sense that let's try to open this up to Xbox and Switch if we decide that we want to give this even a remote semblance of a chance. But if you want my fully honest thought, and this is like the completely unbridled honest thoughts, if you ask me, I think this game is just unsalvageably dead. I think this thing is gone. Whether you look at the player counts, whether you look at the player interest, and that's the kicker to me. The player interest, the public reception is the main indicator that I feel is like the telltale sign of the fact that this game has died, or the game was in general just hurtling towards the grave like a meteor entering the atmosphere. And the reason why I say that is because of the fact that I haven't been really hearing much about it on social media. Not saying social media is the greatest barometer. You can't really use it to gauge stuff like that in any official means. But in general, a viewer of this channel or myself would know that you're more than likely tapped into the games industry. You have an idea of what's going on in the games industry. In general, you see what's happening in the games industry. You get updates, you see tweets, you see YouTube vids, you see blog posts, Reddit posts, rumors, speculation, all that stuff. So for someone who is tapped into the community for what would otherwise be a fairly major game release, I mean, this is a majorly marketed and majorly pushed game release from PlayStation with a crazy budget, tons of development time, that is console exclusive. arguably AAA, and it's, I mean, the amount of noise it's making is, it was comparative to a small time indie dev, if I'm gonna be honest. You know what I'm saying? Small scale startup, just getting out their first couple of games type of indie dev. You know, I feel like that was the biggest sign that Concord was gonna have an untimely demise. And that's not even getting into a discussion about how this game, this game, it entered the grave faster than the day before. Y'all remember that? That was literally a scam game. The day before was basically a scam, an elaborate ruse to finesse people out of their money. And this game died faster than that. Tragic, man. What a tragedy. But hey, man, that's all I got. Let me know what y'all think about it in the comments below. You know what I'm saying? Let me see what y'all got to say about it. What do y'all think the Concord devs are going to do, if anything, with the IP going forward? And just in general, man. Like the video if you like the video. Sub if you mess with the content. And I'll catch y'all on the next one.